7 days ago, this tomato plant looked like it was on its last legs. The leaves were pale, the stems were thin, and new growth had completely stalled. Today, that same plant is dark green, bushy, and covered in fresh new leaves. All it took was a simple $2 soil booster that you can find at almost any garden center. Before I show you exactly how to use it, let me be clear about what this is. This isn't some fancy, expensive fertilizer with a shiny label. It's a basic, budget-friendly soil booster that costs about $2. It adds a gentle dose of nutrients and minerals that most tired garden soil is missing, especially in containers and raised beds. Now, before you pour anything on your plants, the very first step is to read the situation in the soil. I started by taking a good look at the color and texture around the base of the plant. The soil was light, almost grayish, and when I pressed my fingers into it, it crumbled apart too easily. That told me it was dry on top and had lost a lot of its original richness. I also checked how compacted it was. I pushed my fingers down a couple of inches and could feel resistance almost right away. That's a sign the roots are trying to grow in a tight, tired space. When soil gets like this, it doesn't hold water evenly, and nutrients can't move freely. So before adding any booster, I knew I had to gently open that top layer up. On day 1, I started by loosening the top inch or two of soil with my fingers. I worked in a circle around the plant, staying a couple of inches away from the main stem so I wouldn't damage the roots. I didn't dig deep or turn the soil over. I simply broke up the crust on top so air and water could move more easily through that upper layer. Next, I measured out the booster itself. I used 1 level tablespoon for each gallon of water, and I didn't guess at it. I took the time to scrape the top of the spoon flat. That might sound fussy, but when you're working with roots that are already stressed, the difference between a level spoon and a heaping spoon can mean the difference between a gentle nudge and a harsh shock. Then I poured that level tablespoon into a clean watering can. I made sure there weren't any leftover fertilizers or residues inside. Using a clean container means you know exactly what you're giving your plants. I don't like mixing products or guessing at what might already be in the water, especially when I'm trying to diagnose a problem with struggling plants. After that, I filled the watering can with room temperature water. I let the water run slowly so it would swirl the booster around instead of blasting it into clumps at the bottom. Once the can was full, I took a simple wooden stick and stirred for a good 30 seconds, making sure everything dissolved and the water looked evenly cloudy instead of clear on top and thick underneath. Now it was time to feed the plants. I brought the can over to the tomato and slowly poured the mixture around the base of the plant, keeping the water off the leaves and stems. I let the soil drink at its own pace, watching for the point where moisture spread evenly across the surface. I wasn't trying to create a puddle. I was aiming for a steady soak that reached the root zone without drowning it. I repeated that same process with a few other tired-looking plants in the same bed. Each one got the same careful treatment: loosened soil on top, then a slow, even watering with the booster mix. I didn't play favorites. When one plant in a bed is struggling, it usually means the whole bed is running short on something, so it made sense to refresh the entire area at the same time. On day 2, I didn't add anything new. Instead, I just checked the moisture level. I pressed a finger into the soil and felt that it was still comfortably damp a couple of inches down. That told me the roots had steady access to water and nutrients. This is where many gardeners go wrong. They see a problem and throw product after product at it, instead of doing one good thing and then waiting. By day 3, I started to see the first real signs of recovery. The newest leaves at the top were a deeper green than the older ones. Some of the lower leaves that had been limp were now holding themselves a little higher. I also noticed small buds forming where the leaves met the stem. These are tiny changes, but they're the first hints that the roots are finally finding what they need. At this stage, I mixed a second batch of the booster, again using that same 1 tablespoon per gallon ratio. This time, I used a lighter touch with the watering. I only added enough to re-moisten the top several inches, not to completely soak the whole bed again. Think of it like topping off a gas tank rather than filling an empty one. The goal was to keep things steady, not swing from dry to flooded. By day 5, the change was obvious even at a glance. The stems had thickened, and the plant stood upright without leaning on anything for support. The leaves were now a rich, uniform green from top to bottom. When I gently touched the main stem, it felt firm and resilient instead of soft and fragile. At this point, the plant had clearly shifted from survival mode into growth mode. I also noticed that the soil itself looked different. Instead of that pale, tired surface, it now had a darker, richer color. When I crumbled a little between my fingers, it held together just enough, then fell apart into soft pieces. That's what you want to see. A good soil booster doesn't just feed the plant one time. It helps rebuild the soil so every watering from then on does more good. By day 7, the transformation was complete. The plant had filled out with new branches and sets of leaves. Small yellow flower buds were forming at the tips, promising future fruit. If you had seen it on day 1, you might have written it off and pulled it out. Instead, with 1 week and a $2 investment, it had become one of the strongest plants in the bed. You can follow this exact process in your own garden. Start by reading the soil, not guessing. Loosen the top layer so air and water can move. Measure a level tablespoon of a gentle soil booster into a clean gallon of water. Give your plants a slow, even soak at the base, then step back and let the roots respond for a couple of days before you do anything else. This method works especially well in containers and raised beds, where soil can get exhausted after just 1 or 2 seasons. Those setups don't have deep ground layers to draw from. Once the nutrients are used up, the plants struggle unless you step in. A simple, low-cost booster like this lets you refresh those mixes instead of throwing them out and starting over every year. And it's not limited to tomatoes. I've used the same approach on peppers that refused to flower, lettuces that had stalled, herbs that lost their scent, and flowers that seemed stuck between life and death. As long as you respect the dosage and don't pile on product after product, most garden plants respond beautifully to a gentle reset like this. There are only 2 hard rules I follow with boosters. First, I never exceed that 1 tablespoon per gallon ratio, no matter how bad the plant looks. Second, if the soil is bone dry, I give it a light plain watering first, then come back with the booster mix later. That way, the roots wake up slowly instead of being hit with a strong drink on a completely dry stomach. If your plants look weak, pale, or stuck in place, this same $2 soil booster might be all they need. You don't have to rip everything out or rebuild your beds from scratch. Refresh the soil, give the roots a measured, gentle boost, and give it a week. You may be surprised to see your worst-looking plants turn into some of your best performers. If you found this helpful and you like seeing real, before and after results from simple garden experiments, go ahead and hit the like button. That tells me you want more straightforward tips like this, and it helps these ideas reach other gardeners who are struggling with tired soil and weak plants. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to follow along with more low-cost garden tests, compost tricks, and soil building ideas you can try in your own backyard. I share step-by-step projects designed for real home gardens, especially if you're working with older soil, smaller spaces, or containers that need a second life. And if you've tried a cheap soil booster or home remedy that brought your plants back from the edge, share it in the comments. I'd love to test some of your favorite tricks in future videos and show you the results side by side. Your ideas could be the next experiment that helps another gardener rescue a plant they were ready to give up on.